That's what I was going for.
I understand.
Hey, check
there's
this
a
out.
delay. Oh shit!
Notice anything? Notice
upside
anything
down.
weird with these beers?
It's upside down.
Yeah, all of them. I got a 6-pack. They're all upside down. I don't know what happened, but all the labels are 100% upside down.
Did you get them for free?
No, I didn't notice until about a minute ago. So I paid.
Back.
Well, they were on sale, but I paid normal price.
What's normal price for a 6-pack of beer out there?
Well, this is the Stone IP, which is actually a pretty decent one. So $10.
All right. I got a 6-pack Pabst Blue Ribbon cans for $5.99. I like PBR.
PBR.
Oh, PBR is great.
I was looking on for it's for what it is. Yes, it is not. Now it's not like, to me, if I have my preference, that's not where I'm going, right? But I was looking on DoorDash the other day, one of the food delivery services, because I got home kind of late and I was like, I don't know. Our fucking dishwasher we can't run the dishwasher. Anyway, so we're like, well, why don't we order food, not create dishes? And I'm looking on there on DoorDash. They have this service company, something called Loop. And on there, their White Claw was the profile item there. $24 for for the 12 pack. So basically $2 a drink, plus like a $7 delivery fee, plus all the other shit. So I was like, what are you going to pay like $35 for a 12 pack of White Claw? Like, what is this? So then I started digging a little deeper. They sell stuff like condoms too. It's awesome.
You're like a child. Look at you.
It's so great.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. I wonder who actually uses it.
You probably
That's
come
what
up
I
like,
want to know.
Hey, is your refrigerator running? Oh, you got to go catch it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's you, Ray. You fucking weirdo. All right.
You have Prince Albert in the can. We better let him out.
All right, you ready to do a show? You got anything?
Good
Did you put anything in there?
Yeah.
Or are we blank?
Let's do it.
Because we don't need shit. I got
notes.
Yeah, I got lots.
We don't need notes. Notes are for rookies and amateurs.
This is essentially going to be our last episode, so this is going to be a good time. All right, buddy. We
got 2 more after this.
Let's do
we're going to get canceled after this one.
Oh, so, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He used to do a World of Warcraft advice podcast. He even did the original Dragon podcast, changing the game and influencing a generation of podcasters. But he was disgraced, accused of crimes he never committed, shamed,
so precious
he disappeared. By the grace and generosity of Mr. Rich Dickman, he was raised again. Seconded by his co-host, definitely not main host, Ray. Rem Dickman has returned, sexier and more handsome than ever. This is The Rich Dickman Show, the greatest podcast ever produced by Rich Dickman with Rem and Ray.
Hey, everybody.
Featuring executive producer Randy, producer Ryan, Maddie from Australia, hot drummer News Baden, and Svensson. The Rich Dickman Show, your slightly better than mediocre podcast.
Man, motherfucking goddamn thing. Furnace kicked on at the end of the show. Hey, welcome everybody to The Rich Dickman Show. You are slightly better mediocre. Yeah, I'm sorry. Slightly better than mediocre podcast. I am your host. I am Rem. This is episode 113. Thank you, Larry, for that wonderful voiceover. That's our new intro, Ray. What do you think?
That was fantastic. I had no idea what was coming, and it was more than I could have ever hoped for.
I wrote it before Ask Producer Chris joined the show, and so now I got to work that in there somehow. But, that's fun.
He probably got canceled after his appearance last week.
Crazy old ass producer. Oh, man, Ray, my gosh, we have so little to talk about tonight. It's going to be a real hard show to just keep going and say really stupid things and get ourselves in trouble. What do you think, pal?
I say we just get ourselves in trouble. Yeah. Everyone's getting in trouble these days, no matter what.
Yes, sir. Even
if they're trying to help other people. So we might as well just buck that trend and try and get in trouble and see what happens. Kind of like an Office Space deal where we just kind of say, fuck it.
the lesson here is don't help anybody, right? That's going to be the lesson. Yeah, there's a lot going on. All right. Ray, my man, this is episode 113. It's 2 away from the end of the show. Maybe this is it. I don't know.
Yep.
I got a ton of vodka tonight.
Week by week.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk about the things we're going to talk about tonight, but I think we have to. We absolutely have to because it's very important. And it's very pertinent to what we do and why we are the way we are, I think. But Ray, you tell me, buddy, what's happening in your life? Oh, wait. No, hold that thought. I forgot. I would like to thank Ask Producer Chris for coming on the show last week. I never learned how to ride a bike until my mom let go of the seat. He learned how to podcast, right? We hung him out there to dry. And it was a little unfair, right? And maybe it wasn't the coolest thing to do. But, you don't come to old Rem Dickman and say, I can podcast. That shit's easy. No, you don't do that without learning a lesson. So there you go, Ask Producer Chris. You're welcome back anytime. It was fun having him in the studio here with me. I will admit that was, it's a lot, it's a little different dynamic when you got the person right next to you. I miss that with Fit, and that's when we used to have fun with the liquor fueled. But, he had to learn. He had to learn the hard way. Right, Ray? What do you think?
Yeah. The best way to learn is, getting hands on, if you will, or
careful.
Podcasting mouths and ears on.
Careful with those ears and his hands.
Yeah. That's why you like someone in studio. You extra handsy.
Easy.
Extra hands on.
Easy.
But yeah, I mean, it really is sink or swim. You gotta, it's making mistakes and learning from them. That is literally the best way of actually learning. Now you have to, apply yourself and want to learn from your mistakes, but, not that everything you did was a mistake. Not trying to say it was a complete failure, or am I? But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's good. You just got to do it and go from there.
You do it more.
It's kind of what I did. And look where I'm at.
Yeah,
it's still just slightly better than mediocre.
Yeah, that's right. And learning from those mistakes, Ray. Oh my gosh, everything we're saying right now is just so interesting, considering what else is going on. All right, Ray, tell me about you, buddy. How are you, my friend? We haven't talked too much this week. How you doing, buddy?
The reality is my week's been nuts. Work, got all the big wigs in town, going over financial year end stuff. But it's been positive. The things that happened at this office in the last year, it's got me riding about as high as I've ever been in my professional career. So I'll just leave it at that. No one really cares about.
Congratulations on your promotion, asshole.
But things are going really well.
Proud of you. You did a good job.
Yeah, thank you. It's just one of those, you know what I'm saying? Like, you fucking apply yourself. I've made tons of stupid decisions and been a leech to society, if you will, in the past, and trying to turn it around and actually contribute to society, make a difference in people's lives, try and run a legitimate business. And when you actually succeed, it feels good. So for those of you out there that are struggling, just apply yourself, and hopefully you'll have that good feeling one day.
That's it.
But outside of that, so have you seen, the Ring, like the doorbell with the video on it?
Yeah.
You're familiar with that thing? Okay.
I just said yes.
I told somebody else about this earlier, and they were like, a what? And I was like, what? No, like, everyone knows about these, right? Like the doorbell that has a video on it. You can check it on your phone. So we've got it set up so that it'll notify us, my wife and I, whenever there's motion. Fucking shit, man. Everybody driving by, and I turn the sensitivity down. Like, I fucking hate that thing. Like, every time my wife goes in and out of the door, someone delivers something, like everything. And it doesn't just go bzz on my phone, right? I just have my phone on vibrate. It doesn't just go bzz. It goes bzz, bzz. Bzz, 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 bzz.
Oh, Jesus.
I got it. I got it. Somebody walked by, and fucking, it's almost like living with security cameras around you. Like, now I'm like, do I really want to wake up early and go play golf and not tell my wife? Because she'll see it on the fucking camera.
Yeah, you can't.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I can't even do anything. Like, I can't surprise anyone. You can see everything on the camera going in and out of the front door.
Yeah, you can't bang mentally ill chicks anymore.
My suggestion. Yeah, I can't have chicks over anymore. Yeah. God damn it. They got to come in the back. It's fine. We don't have one on the back door. I got to work around for that. But yeah, it's almost worse than having it. Like, I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but I hate the thing now. It's horrible. I don't know if you don't have one, I'm assuming, but
no.
oh my God, stay away from.
Yeah, you know what? I think the lesson here is to stay away from every little piece of technology. No, right? I mean,
Yeah.
find a nice quiet place
Leads to
in
trouble.
the Midwest, South Dakota, and just stash away there and hide for the rest of your life. Right?
Yeah.
Because it's not getting any better.
Yep.
Right? This is
Yep.
everything's shitty right now. Everything is absolutely shitty right
Everything.
now. Yeah. What else you got, Ray? What else is going on with you?
You know what?
Okay.
You know what wasn't shitty? Father's Day. So last week we were talking, it was coming up on Father's Day. Said happy Father's Day, everybody.
Always shitty.
So it just turned out to be not the best day ever, but woke up, played some golf, got home, said, you know what? I can do whatever I want. I went for a run. It was still early in the day. I mean, it's been 100 plus degrees here. Running in 100-degree weather is it's like a death sentence. But
Make
I
sure
pretty
you wear your
much
mask.
got to do all that by 9 a.m. Yeah, fucking masks. Yeah, while exercising in 100-degree weather. That's real fucking smart, right?
Yeah.
So when there's no one for 2 miles, but let's wear the masks. But anyway, so did all that by 9 o'clock in the morning, and kind of after that just chilled, played the Nintendo Switch with the kids, took a nap, and went to the in-laws. They had the pool, hung out. They had cooked some nice steak. I can't complain. It was pretty nice. So how was your Father's Day?
Stupid. They're all
You
stupid.
almost made me spit out my drink. That was almost a spit take.
No. It's dumb. Dumb. What did I do? I didn't do nothing. I didn't do shit. I didn't even mow the lawn, so that's like where we're at. See, the stupid
I don't
holidays
want to do nothing.
Well, yeah.
Sort of.
But the stupid holidays aren't really celebrated in my family too much, like Father's Day, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, all the stupid shit like that. It's really not a big deal. Ideally, I'd just be left alone, and just sit on my deck and not be bothered. But I can't. I'm always bothered with stuff. It's my life. I chose it, right? I guess. I don't know. Ray, listen, here's the deal, Ray. I have never been more serious in my life about uprooting my family and starting over in an entirely different place of the world, South Dakota. All I need is someone else in this household to be 100% behind this plan, not 98%, but 100%. And then I will look into a transfer and I will move my ass to South Dakota. You know what's great about South Dakota, Ray? I'll tell you what. There are less than 1 million people in the large state of South Dakota. I did this thing with my kids the other night. I was trying to explain to them why it would be great to move to South Dakota. And I said, here, guys, see, look at half of this dining room table. Imagine half of this dining room table is South Dakota. You have all this space. And you only have 900,000 people living in all this space. Now, see this cup? Let me put this cup down. See how small this cup is? That cup is Connecticut. In that cup is 3.5 million people. Now, do you see the difference? And he looks on their faces. You see, sometimes visual aids not always. Some visual aids are helpful. So that's my plan, Ray. I hope within the next 2 years, I can be doing this podcast with you from South Dakota, away from everybody, away from all the bullshit, no income tax, great weather. Well, I mean, you know what? Maybe not so great weather, but who cares? I don't give a shit. Lots of space, lots of nothing. Mm-hmm. Leave me alone. As we told Larry a few weeks ago, just leave me alone. I don't want to be bothered with any of your bullshit. And the world is falling apart and it's burning and it's just all horrible. And thank God, Ray, thank God I do have kids, because if I didn't have kids, I would have either hanged myself in a closet or I'd be out in the woods in Montana trying to survive like Survivor Man. That's what I would be doing. That sounds dark, and I'm sorry. And maybe the suicide joke isn't funny, but I should be allowed to express how I feel. All right, I should be. No, I can't.
Oh yeah,
white male can't do that. All right.
Oh yeah. Damn it.
Yeah.
Foiled.
All right. Right.
You know what? So the other thing we're tentatively doing is looking at houses. But what you were just saying makes me think we just need to look a little bit further outside the city here. Not that the city I live in is all that populous, but something with a landing strip, a runway, so I can get a little Cessna, a little one.
I like
and then when all the
little
shit hits the fan,
myself.
I can just fly over to South Dakota with you and then land out
just
there.
Come on over, bud. Just come on, because it's so cheap to live there. Okay, we could start our own little. We can rent a little building. We put together a little podcast studio. We can do productions and YouTube shit, right? We get some advertisers, make a little bit of money. You can take care of your family with, and you know what? We'll just live in our dream and having fun, and everything's great, right? Yeah. That's my fantasy here. All right, all right, Ray. Let's get into it, bud, because we can't delay this any longer. Show's gonna be a little different tonight.
You're so excited.
You know what? I'm not excited. That's the thing. I'm not excited about it, but it needs to be talked about.
Yes. Yeah. I know what you mean. When I said excited, I mean, not looking forward to it, but it's just one of those, it's a long time coming. I think it's something I didn't want to talk about, Ray, when I first read about it. I just want to just kind of move on and ignore it. But then a couple things changed, and it needs to be talked about because one of the people here is super shitty. All right. So let's take a trip down memory lane. Old Rem Dickman. But which one is it? We'll be back after this commercial break.
We'll find out. See who responds to my email. When old Rem Dickman was known as Remgar the Tauren, and he hosted a World of Warcraft podcast for you, the World of Warcraft player. And it was called Tauren Think Tank, and it was old Rem and Jules, right? And man, I've been doing a lot of digging around, Ray, and I found the original Reddit post from the WoW forums from 8 years ago when we were first asking for questions for our first episode. That's how much digging I've been doing. That's right. And famously, after episode 114, we broke up. And I told that story on episode 39. Episode 39 is hashtag #T300. And I told the story of how we broke up. Essentially, I was being a dick to Jules' husband, and he didn't like that I was being a dick to him and demanded I apologize. And Jules asked me to apologize to her husband, of which I did, only to please Jules, as she was my friend and my co-host. I didn't mean any of my apology because I fucking hated that guy, and it probably came out that way in my email. But anyways, I did as I was told. I apologized, and he sent me this horrible, scathing email that I was thinking maybe we'd read on a Patreon episode one day, Ray, but maybe I don't want to. I don't know. We'll see. I found it.
You should at least just send it to me.
Okay, because I can
at least do that much for me.
All right. Remind me when I'm drunk at the end of the show to do it. All right. So
and then I'll read it on the Patreon
episode. So he sent me this email that was just horrible and mean and all the mean things he ever wanted to say to me, and I didn't take it the right way. And then I said to Jules, Jules, did you read this email before he sent it? And she said, yeah, I thought it would be good. And then I said, oh, Jesus Christ. So you actually think that I'm using you as a substitute for something I'm missing in my life? Are you fucking kidding me? And it was then I decided I couldn't do a podcast with her or these people anymore because they were toxic. And I did not control the narrative after I left. And I became the bad guy. And I was excised from the WoW community. Oh, you know what? My actions afterwards didn't help with that. You know, I was kind of an asshole too because I was still angry and hurt. So there's really no excuse. A lot of it's my fault. Most of it's my fault and how I responded to it. 6 years later, Ray, I would have handled it a lot differently, but I'm also older now. And I'll tell you what, a year and a half in therapy it puts perspective on things. All right. I would have, because at that time in my life in 2014, I've said this numerous times throughout the run of the Rich Dickman Show, 2014 was a very bad year for me. All right. I did a lot of things that were not healthy or good. It was just a bad time from podcasting to real life all around. It was just a rough year for me. Okay. I had to do a lot of growing that year. And I wish I could do some things over again, but I can't. So you learn, right? Learn from your mistakes. Right, Ray? Right. So anyways, I was vilified. I was the bad guy, and off I went. Okay. I left, right? And then Jules had a search for a new co-host. New co-host for Tauren Think Tank. Jules and
it was epic.
Her new co-host. It was a search. It was a nationwide search from all the greatest podcasters from around the land. And actually it was only two. One guy you never heard of and this fellow named Markonnen, who Markonnen did, before he became anybody, he was just doing segments at the end of The Instance with Scott Johnson. After The Instance, I don't know if he still does it. I haven't listened in years, but back then, any creator who wanted to submit a little 30-second, 45-second clip of something they created, would be played at the end of the show. We did advertisements for Torn Think Tank. Markonnen used to do Mount Up or whatever the hell it was called. He used to talk about finding mounts in the World of Warcraft. And he was known like that. And he was a fan of Torn Think Tank. And one day I had this big production in mind that I wanted to do, and I needed somebody to edit it. Because you know me, Ray, I'm full of ideas, and I usually like finding people to do it for me. So Markonnen emailed me or tweeted me, one or the other, and said, hey, Rem, I'll do it. And thus our relationship was born. He became my producer. I would send him ideas and he would do them. I would record my voice doing things and he would produce it in some other way and make bits out of it. And we had a good time. We had a good run. Okay. Anyways, he won the co-host search. Now, let me tell you, before he won that, back in June of 2014, 3 months before I left in September, I actually met Markonnen in real life. And we had dinner together at Texas Roadhouse in West Haven, Connecticut. He drove up from Albany or wherever that was.
Our company probably helped build it.
Yeah. And we had dinner and we sat and we became buds. We did a lot of work together over the, previous year and a half. The Jules Bot special, all the bits you heard, they're mostly produced by Markonnen.
Good stuff too.
Yeah. And so in that dinner, and I opened up to him at that point and I said, and I gave him my concerns for the Torn Think Tank as it was and how Jules had, put off Coltrane from us because she was talking lots of shit about me in Vegas without, me knowing about it and all this other nonsense, right? And I always told Markonnen, just be careful. Just be careful who you meet online because they're never who they say they are. Anyways, Markonnen took my seat. after being my boy, he was offered the Torn Think Tank job and he took it. Like, I don't know, Ray. I don't know. If you and I were buds, and I don't know that I could take something away from you like that, but you know what? To each their own. It's the internet. Who fucking cares? Right? I know Chris O.C. had a big problem with it, and I believe Fit had a big problem with it as well. But me, I was like, you know what? It's fine. I'm not in the show anymore. Everything's fine. No big deal. Markonnen, have fun. So when Markonnen, I'm doing a lot of talking. I'm sorry, Ray, but this is important. This is important to where we're going.
Yeah. It's background.
So
it is important.
Yeah. So when Markonnen accepted the job on Torn Think Tank, I texted him and I said, listen, bud, just be careful, please. Okay. Because you know what? I had a lot of trust in Jules and she kind of broke that trust, allowing her husband to send that email to me without, maybe mitigating it or having a discussion about it. There's different ways to handle what happened. And so I said, and I had noticed at the time, and I told him when it's convenient from her, she'll find something else to do. She had left our guild and gone on to convert to Ray to become a big internet celebrity, with the Scott Johnson crew and the Pat Crane crew and all that bullshit, right? So, and Markonnen said, yeah, no problem, man. I'll keep my eyes open. No big deal. And, we had a decent relationship for the first few episodes he was on. And then I asked him to send a slash move. We did the slash moves, like little shout outs to people in the community. I say, hey, Markonnen, can you send a slash move for me? And he didn't want to because it was from me. And he said, listen, you got to understand, I'm Triple T now and I just can't be doing things like that. Well, that motherfucker said he was Triple T now. I said, wait a minute, you didn't do shit. Like I built that. I built Triple T. You didn't do anything. How can you? Yeah. So I stopped talking to him. All right. That was his last I talked to him. I went on to tweet a little bit after this. Again, more backstory. This is important. I went on to tweet some more shit towards the show and how I was pissed that they were making money and I wanted my cut of it. And, maybe we get a lawyer involved to get the name right. Just a lot of just nonsense just to kind of piss people off. Cause again, now we're into the end of 2014, early 2015, I'm still an asshole. I'm still learning how to, be a human being. All right. I'm still angry over losing my show. Come to find out, when I went into therapy, for myself to realize how big of a deal the whole Torn Think Tank saga was. Like I spent time talking to my therapist about it. All right. So, it was a big part of my life. Okay. So that's kind of where we left off after either December 2014 or January 2015, somewhere after there. I had no more contact with either of them. I was blocked on Twitter. I was no longer existent in the universe. Yeah. I was deleted. I was deleted from
your
everything.
phone. Who dis?
Yeah, pretty much, and at that point I was fine. Stupid me thinking I still had the ego about me thinking, you know what? Torn Think Tank was nothing without me. I'll do the Storm Ride stuff and, all those listeners come here and nobody ever did. Nobody gave a shit because what made Torn Think Tank special was me and Jules, not me, not Jules, Me and Jules, right? Just look at the iTunes reviews after I left. Okay, you can see it was me and Jules. All right. So that's the story in a very quick nutshell. All right, so let's fast forward. Triple T goes on from I left in September 2014 and they closed down January of 2019. So, 4 years and 2 months or 3 months, whatever it is. Okay. 300 episodes and they end the show. And they end not with a bang, but with a whimper. Episode 300 was an hour long, Ray? Leading up to it, it was like 45 minutes, 50 minutes. Yeah, they were just running it. Nobody wanted to do it anymore. They were done. Yeah, it was done. And that's fine.
They were done.
Jules had other projects she was
working on. And they didn't even
on.
do anything. They had no episode. It was literally just them saying oh, here we're at episode 300 and oh, here's some video from people. And there was no actual anything.
There was nothing.
At all.
And the pre-show.
It was just let's celebrate this.
Yeah. Everybody in the chat room, you have moderator privileges because we've heard somebody might pop in and ruin the show, because old Rem here.
Yeah.
I co-opted the Triple T 300 hashtag for my own memories, right? I was trying to be and also I do have to mention this. In 2016, 2 years after I left, I did send an email to Jules and Marconin apologizing for my behavior. Right. And this was around they were getting to episode 200 and I wanted to apologize and, maybe not necessarily, I knew what I did wrong, but I needed to apologize. Okay. All right. Well, Ray, what happens when you take a lonely guy who may be having some type of, maybe having some troubles in his personal life and you give him a microphone? And there's people who listen to him all of a sudden and they think the words he say mean something and the advice he gives is important. And, you start wielding a little bit of internet power, right? As I would call it, my internet celebrity. And I can speak on this, Ray, because I experienced this because that feeling was goddamn good. All right, Ray. After a few episodes and we started getting those downloads, we were at 600 downloads in 6 episodes, whatever Coltrane was on. And then we were up to 2,500, 3,000 to 5,000 downloads a week on that goddamn show, right? Okay. And there's people talking about you and how funny you were or you gross mouth sounds, all that stuff, right? And it feels good. That attention is amazing, right? Because you know what? It's good because you're not getting it anywhere else. All right. There's nobody in my real life say, hey, Rem, that was a funny joke you told. You made me laugh. I almost drove my car off the road. Nobody in my real life is telling me that. It's a drug, Ray, right? You're addicted to it. You got to get more of it. It's like that dopamine all over the Twitter. It's that you gotta get it because, oh my God, it feels so good. Nobody else gives it to you. And then you start meeting people, right? And you start talking to people on the side and I don't know, people become more available to you, Ray. It's a crazy internet world. That's what it is. And I've asked a few of our guests in the past, hey, do you have internet groupies? And they say, oh, yes, we do. Because you do. All right. All right.
Yep.
So that's a good feeling. Now, where are we? It's 2020, Ray. What happens in 2020? Go ahead.
Everything you've ever done in the past is wrong.
Yeah, that's right. Thankfully, go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Thankfully, most of the stuff I've done in my past wasn't that wrong. I did a few Twitter searches of my name and looked for certain things, and I can't find anything, so thank God for that. I was always smart enough to...
Shit, I need to do that search.
Yeah.
Can you do that search on my behalf?
Maybe.
Oh, my God.
I always knew better. Not always. Listen, I'm not absolving myself here. I made mistakes. All right? I've done stupid things, but nothing to the level of what we're going to talk about in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this was 3 days ago? I'm not going to give out any names here of any of the accusers or not. But I'm going to go ahead and read part of a twit longer that somebody tweeted. Because, the times are now where we have to out everybody, right? We have to, and I have to be really careful here, right? Because I don't want to say all the things that I actually do want to say. Because everything gets taken out of context or gets clipped and all this stuff. Let's see here. I am shaking writing this.
So I'll fill the time.
Yeah.
Oh, you got it. Go.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, as far as outing people, if someone's legitimately done bad things, that's okay. Out them. If they're a bad person and they're going to continue to do bad things, especially with the current climate of seeing that people get outed, they deserve it. I don't see why not, right? Now, if you're going to dig up that tweet from, or whatever, something somebody said that happened to be recorded in 1992 about, I don't even know what. They said the G word, or the F word, maybe, I don't know. So where it's like, back then, maybe not as big of a deal or something like that. Then you're like, okay, you're talking 30 years ago. Like we're gonna tell the person they need to resign or whatever. Like to me, that's insane. Yeah. But yes, someone that's doing things that you could potentially say they should be in jail for, things along those lines. Not that I'm saying this is what we're talking about, but it's out the people. If they're really a bad person, out them.
Ray, we're in a climate now where we can forgive our own shortcomings by just using a movement to our own advantage. Okay, we can absolve ourselves of our own sins by co-opting something that's actually serious for other people. Okay, all right. I'm going to read something here. I want you to listen to the words and what's not being said and how it's going to ruin somebody's life. Okay, I'm going to skip around a little bit, but this is kind of important. Somehow, in the depths of my despair, I found my husband. God bless me with a man that is beyond words. He saved me. He has saved me on multiple occasions. After we got married, life was good. I never thought I would ever be in a position like that again, but I was wrong. In 2016, I was preyed upon again. I watched my best friend die in front of my eyes. I watched my grandmothers die, both of them within a week of each other. I watched my uncle die. I was in extreme grief. I started therapy for it, but I stopped talking to my husband. I started listening to podcasts. One in particular had 2 hosts, and they talked about mental health, and I liked it. I became friends with the male host. We became closer than we should have. He made me feel like life wasn't so bad. He told me things I hadn't heard from my husband in months. I was so vulnerable and so broken, and he took advantage of that, and I slept with him at a convention. The community that we were a part of began to ghost me, and I pulled away because I didn't want to be seen a whore. I made a mistake. I almost lost my marriage. I took pills. I wanted to die. I still have not forgiven myself for what I did to my husband. I am shaking writing this, but you need to know how predators work. My husband rushed home when he learned that I took pills and made me throw up and get it out of my system. I refused to go to the hospital, but the following week I realized I needed help and I admitted to my therapist what I'd done. He didn't judge me. Instead, he drove me to the hospital and stayed with me until my husband came. I was put in a holding facility for the full 72 hours. I was high risk. I went through some intense therapy. After I was released, I saw a psychiatrist, my therapist, and we went to marriage counseling. It took a long time to work through, but my husband, for some reason, forgave me. I have yet to forgive myself. One thing that all of these therapists repeated to me over and over again was, it's not my fault. Predators will prey on the weak and vulnerable. They will take advantage where they can. This podcast host is a major part of a community that some of you know. I know for a fact he's done this to other women because he admitted it to me. He slept with them. He's a married man doing this under the guise of polyamory, but his wife doesn't know. I made a mistake and I paid for it by losing connections and friends. To this day, he continues to stream and create content, being an active part of the community that I really loved and possibly continues to prey on other women. I still question myself over it 4 years later. I still beat myself up constantly over it, and I've had to work on networking and building my relationships up again with the communities in which I want to work. His name? Corey Spencer, known among my WoW friends as Markonnen. Oof. All right, Ray.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
I have a couple things that don't sit right with me with what she wrote.
Okay. Hold on to him, though.
First.
Hold on. Just hold on to him because I want to get this whole thing in perspective before we start. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So that was 3 days ago at this point. All right. And Markonnen has been gone from Twitter in that time. And I want to be very upfront right now. And I will say this to you, Ray, and I'll say this to the entire listening audience. I emailed Markonnen this evening and I said to him, hey, man, I'm sorry this is happening to you. If all the people who considered you friends have just disowned you all of a sudden, that's really shitty, and I'm sorry. If you need somebody, past differences aside, I'm here. Okay? Because we're gonna get to all this, right? So it took his old co-host 2 days to respond. And it was, you know what, Ray, how long would it take for you to give up on me? Because I hope it'd be quicker than 2 days. Like, if you're going to give up on me, just fucking do it. Don't be a pussy about it, right? But Jules then tweeted, please read this person's story regarding Markonnen. I believe her story. Several additional women have told me their stories privately about Markonnen in confidence. I believe them. He is no longer a friend to me. Oh, man. There's a lot there. And the things that aren't said is what really stand out. And you pointed this out to me too. But I don't want to get into the accusations here. I'm going to tell you, this is why. We've created a culture now where an accusation without proof, without verification, without witnesses is going to ruin somebody. Okay. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if this woman's story is true or not. Is it, do I think it's true? Yeah, probably. I do think it's true. Right. But I don't know for sure. I don't know if there are other women or not, but I can tell you why it happened. All right. Because if somebody isn't getting what they need at home and suddenly they find it from a bunch of strangers who make them feel good about themselves, well, things take off from there. I did a whole episode of Torn Think Tank about that exact same feeling. When you think you have nothing going on and a bunch of strangers come to you and say, man, that was really funny. Or man, you're so creative. Or man, that was, you really changed the way I think about things. When people like Randy can come up to me and say, hey man, you changed my life and I really appreciate the advice you gave me 7 years ago, whatever it was. That makes you feel good, right? And who else in your life has given you that feedback? Nobody. Because the people in your life know you a different way. Right? They're not giving you.
Yes. No, absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. So you're getting this positive reinforcement from a whole bunch of strangers and you're thinking a whole different way about yourself. And all of a sudden, like the world, oh my God, you see the world differently. The sun shines brighter. The people are, people smell better. You realize the power that you wield. And they come and they throw themselves at you, Ray. This isn't a male podcaster seeking somebody out. This is somebody looking to this podcaster and saying, hey, I liked what you said the other day. Let's chat. And then that male podcaster taking that as, oh, hey, that seems like a good idea. Let's chat some more. And then one thing leads to another. Two adult people make some decisions and then one of them regrets those decisions. Nothing in there said anything was non-consensual, right? There was no allegations of abuse, just I was preyed upon. Well, here's my issue with the being preyed upon. You gotta be careful, Ray. Gotta be careful with that one.
Okay, let me say this.
Go ahead.
Let me say this.
Yeah.
Let me say this. She said that the therapist, and I completely disagree with this, kept telling her it's not her fault. Now hear me out when I say it is her fault. And this is what I mean is she was there. She made that decision. She was part of it. She needs to own it. That's not to say, she's at fault and forever will be. You need to own that and move on from that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And say that behavior was me. I was part of that. And therefore I need to change that to improve and move forward. So that's not to say like she's forever broken or I don't know how someone would phrase it to say like it's her fault and forever will be. And there's no moving on. But she made that decision. She consciously made that decision. It was, she shared in that. It's partially her fault. Just, it's mutual, like you said. So it's kind of silly that a therapist would say, it's not your fault. As in, what I'm getting from that is like, you could put yourself in that same situation again and it's still the other person's fault. No, you were there. You need to understand that you were complicit in this. That's not to say you can't improve and become a better person and hopefully never get in that situation again. But you do have to own your mistakes, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's two pieces of wisdom that changed my life and at different points in my life. The first one is when I read the Dalai Lama's book. All right. The Dalai Lama wrote about the basics of Buddha, not his book, but he wrote, it was the basics of Buddhism. Okay. And one of the things that stuck out to me about reading that book was accept that which you cannot change. You can't change things. Yes. They are what they are for the most part, right? And if you accept that you can't change them, you're going to be a happier life. You're not going to be trying to achieve things that are unachievable. I'm not talking about goals or anything like that. I'm talking about, the sky is blue. I can't change it. That's what it's going to be for the rest of my life. Okay. The second thing is when my therapist said to me, hey, Rem, everything is your fault. And it's okay. You have to learn from the mistakes you made and don't do them again. Mm-hmm. But it's all your fault, right? Because nobody's making those decisions for you. You've done it. So this is absolutely Markonen's fault. This is absolutely the fault of the other person. Because again, there's no allegation of abuse and there's no allegation of it being non-consensual. Now, there's an allegation of there being other people. All right. I don't know if he's gone out and done this before, but Ray, I mean, listen, you got a whole bunch of people throwing themselves at you. It's very hard for somebody with very low self-esteem who doesn't get that type of attention to say no. All right. That's not an excuse for the behavior. Mm-hmm. Should he be, he should be avoiding that completely. Absolutely. Right. But it's kind of hypocritical for me to say, yeah, you should absolutely avoid it when I know, those decisions are actually hard to make in the moment because you're being driven not by your logical brain, but by your reptilian brain, right? You want to be satisfied. You're like, oh my God, these feelings are great. I want more of them. And it's just now. So what happened? Jules turned on him within 2 days. And judging by the lack of interaction they've had since Triple T ended, and the way she worded everything, you made this point to me, Ray. How much was known? Mm-hmm. I reached out to somebody in the community and I said, hey, what do you think? Because I don't know this person. I've never heard of them before. This person started listening to the show after I left, so I don't know who this is. But what do you think? And this person said, yeah, no, I absolutely believe the accuser. Now, we're in a point in time where we have to believe everybody's story, Ray. Because if we don't believe them, then all of a sudden we're hateful people who don't understand and we should be fired from our job. So, hey, I believe you, accuser. I believe everything you said. I'm sorry this happened to you, but I believe you. Let's get that out of the way. I believe you. I'm sorry. It's not your fault.
Yeah.
There we go. I believe you. It's not your fault. This should never happen. I'm sorry for it. There we go. Covered. I'm covered now. But to just throw out an accusation like that, no proof, no witnesses, just throw it on the internet. When in that same accusation, you detailed the history of similar situations, not with that person, but with others. And you're listening to a mental health show. Maybe we shouldn't be so quick to jump on Markonen and tell him he's a horrible person for it. That's what I'm saying. Maybe we should back off a little bit and not cancel the fucking guy. Because Ray, Markonen, if you listen to this, I'm sorry. But ultimately, Markonen's a nobody. Just like you, just like me, we're nobodies. We're just assholes who talk on the internet.
Yeah. Oh, yep.
Right? So what does it matter if we get canceled or not? Because who cares? We're nobodies. So what do? We went out, we sought attention and we got attention. We got a whole bunch of people saying, oh, I'm so sorry this happened to you. Oh my God, you're so brave. Oh, I hope these other people can speak up because of your bravery. And Jules was just so quick to dump on her friend, jumping on the believe all women bandwagon. And, we should not dismiss everybody's stories. We should investigate and find the truth, right? I don't want to say we have to believe everybody, but we should not dismiss it.
Absolutely.
Right.
You can't just believe one source and call it truth.
Right.
It just doesn't work that way. It's just simple.
And, and I see that, and the reason I emailed him is because, myself, I am a pariah of sorts. I'm no longer welcome in that community. And I was quickly cast aside once Jules got her hooks and everybody. And none of them talked to me. I've asked a couple of them to come on the show and they don't even address the subject. They laugh like I'm joking. Right. So whatever. I don't care. I got 7.5 listeners. That's all I need. I don't give a shit. But just how quick she was just to pick him up and throw him in the trash can without even, I will say it did take 2 days. Maybe she did talk to him. Maybe he admitted the whole thing to her and she said, okay, well, I have to save my career. So I'm going to disown you now. Maybe that happened. If that happened, at least she was honest about it, whatever. But the WoW community is full of nerds, Ray, right? Bunch of, I'd say 95% antisocial nerds. And they start getting attention because they did something. And that attention turns into things like this. Right? I feel bad that Markonen is getting railroaded like this. if I were to give him any advice, I'd say make a statement and then get off the internet for a little while because you don't need the bullshit that comes with it. Or not. Maybe don't make a statement. Maybe just disappear. Hold on. But disappearing just makes it seem like you're guilty. I don't know. I don't know what the story. The whole thing is stupid, right? And it's shitty that, he has to deal with something like this because, again, he's a nobody, just like you, just like me. We're all nobodies. And now he's dragged into all this. Now he's a horrible person in everybody's mind because he made a mistake with some woman who also made a mistake. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, there was a few things that the lady, whatever her name is, that wrote that said. One, that apparently Marcona is doing this under the guise of being polyamorous. Maybe he is, for all we know. There was no proof that maybe she talked to the wife or anything like that. Who knows? The other one was, it was really weird that she said after she slept with him that the entire community ghosted her. But why would the entire community ghost her if they don't know anything? Or if they knew something and they ghosted her, how come we're only hearing about it now? Like there's little things that don't add up. Now that could be just because, she just wrote something out and put it out there and that's just how we interpret it. I don't know. But it's just stuff like that. It's just weird. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm just reading too much into it for all I know. But yes, you're completely correct in that, you can't literally just listen to what one person says. And, it's consensual. I don't know. There's so many.
There's a lot.
Way too many thoughts in my head right now to formulate it all.
There's a lot being said in the words that are not used, Ray. And I think, I think what's not said speaks volumes. Okay. Especially, there's no allegation of abuse. There's nothing to say that it wasn't consensual. It's just, he preyed on me when I was vulnerable. Well, no.
She just feels regretful.
No, that's not how that works. You came.
She's just regretful.
Yeah.
That's it.
You were having an issue at home. You found a podcast that spoke to you. You ended up talking to the host and you met at a convention and things happened. You made a mistake. Okay. I mean, I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. It's like using the movement to absolve you of your own sins. Right now.
Yeah, it very well could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, again, so that's not to say we shouldn't be. See, now we're walking that really fine line where I don't necessarily want to be a hypocrite because I'm not saying anybody's innocent here. I don't want to make it sound like, Marcona did nothing wrong. Oh, he absolutely did because he used his position on the podcast to where women would trust him and he took advantage of it. Is he taking advantage of it when they offer it up that easily? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is there. Right. That's a hard question to talk.
I don't know. We don't know though. For all we know, she completely came onto him.
Well, most likely that's what happened.
For all we know.
He's using the guise of polyamory. Well, men in the audience, how many times have you made a fib to have sex with a woman? But do we know?
3 times today.
Yeah, me never. Because I just don't anymore. No sex for me. But what I'm saying is these were two adults who knew each other's situations and they proceeded to make bad decisions together using the Me Too speaking out movement to make yourself feel better about your mistakes is shitty. That's what I'm saying. It's a shitty thing. And then having the whole community pile on and then just dump him. And let me tell you something about the WoW community for Ray, because they were so easy to get rid of me when I left the show. They're just so easy. Marcona was on a goddamn podcast like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Not one of them has said a thing, which is fine, but like now he's like, oh no, he's public enemy number 1. We can't talk to him ever again. I don't know. It's just so easy to dump on you. It's tough. It's a tough thing, right? Because we're in a climate now where we're forced to look at it black or white without seeing any of the gray, without acknowledging any nuance. We're forced to take a side, and if we take the wrong side, then we're part of we're on the enemy team, right? And that's messed up.
Yeah.
Well,
what's weird is, and I'll probably just get in trouble for saying this, is I'm struggling with whether I should say it. But I mean, if it's, again, we were not there, so we don't know. What we do know, well, what we assume based on everything that's happened, him not saying anything, like if he had no interactions with her, I guarantee you he would be all over it right now saying, this is completely false.
Yeah.
And would be able to back it up or whatever, right? So my guess is it happened. It happened. Now, judging by what she wrote and the responses of others, like you said, there's no accusations of it being anything other than consensual. Therefore, can we not treat it as such? It's two married people. They both made a mistake. They're equally at fault. How is this one person's fault more than the others? Yes, he's in a quote unquote position of power, but what does that have to do with anything? Like, how does that mean he's better than her? Like he's the one that's supposed to say no? It falls on both of them. This whole like Me Too thing, like they're saying these people in positions of power. He does a fucking World of Warcraft podcast. It's not like, I mean, you've done it. You'll say like it goes to your head, but like Jesus fucking Christ, you can't sit here and say this person's like super. If you're literally saying that your life has to be changed by someone doing a World of Warcraft podcast, you need to get your shit together. That should not be how you turn your fucking life around. So how can you sit here and say he's at fault? It's all his fault. And I'm not saying he's not at fault. I'm saying they should equally share the blame. You want equality? There's your fucking equality. Yeah. Move on. It's not the guy did everything wrong. They equally participated. Share the blame.
Yeah. I want to qualify everything we've said previously with this is that, if the accusations of multiple women are true and all the stories involve him manipulating them and being an asshole. Okay. I take everything I said back. Okay. Because that's like serial killer. That's psychopath shit. All right. If he's juggling, 5, 7, 10, 15 different women and all telling them a different story just so he can bang them at different conventions, that's gross. And that's just psychopath type shit. Right. But if it's one or two, I can totally understand where he's coming from because having been in that same situation, all right, knowing what that community was like, full of broken and mentally ill people just looking for a friend, it's very easy to get wrapped up and lose track of what's right and what's wrong, especially when nobody's telling you it's wrong because they're telling you sure. All right, so it's that audience. No, I don't want to do that one. Fit used to say to me, you got to be careful with what you're telling them because if you give them the wrong advice, that could potentially lead to something on you. Right. So if you were to listen to my entire catalog, you would notice that my advice gets less and less serious as we get towards the end of the run. Right. Because, and somebody, and Jules would include some deep ass questions. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not a therapist. I'm not qualified to any of this. Like, I don't know how to tell you not to kill yourself. Like, what the fuck? What do you want from me? I'm just some asshole who likes to make jokes in my basement right now.
Go get some professional help.
And then
that's all you can do, right? Like, what do you really want me to do?
the biggest fraud exposed by this it's got to be Jules. Okay. Because she did the podcast with Marcona longer than she did it with me. They went to conventions together, not just BlizzCon. They did all sorts of different types of conventions all across the country. So if he was out banging chicks at conventions and they were spending time together at conventions, like she would have had to have seen something. She would have had to ask something. After Kineticon 2014, she asked me a question. To which I had to deny. I said, no, why would you ask me that question? That's gross. Okay. So it's not like she's not observant and doesn't see these things. So it wouldn't be convenient at the time to say, hey, Marconin, I can't be done with another partner here. So we're just going to keep quiet about this, right? I'm just speculating. I don't know anything. I don't know anybody anymore. It's all too convenient just to easily just dump your co-host of 176 episodes in 4 years over some accusation made over Twitter. Yeah. It's kind of shitty, Ray. It's kind of shitty. Markonen.
Yes.
If you're listening, Markonen, listen, I support you. Man, I think you got railroaded, man. Unless this did happen multiple times and you did really shitty things, then fuck you. You can go fuck yourself.
Absolutely. If it's a pattern, then yeah, you got some problems, man. You need to get some help, and then it's a good thing that this is coming out. Now, if it's a one-off, I mean, that's the thing, right? Everyone makes mistakes. Not saying it's okay, but you don't have to treat the guy like he's like the worst thing ever. Anyone.
Please don't misunderstand.
Again, when it's consensual, right?
Right. And everybody listen, please don't misunderstand what I'm saying here. I'm not absolving anybody of any mistakes they've made. I am offering another viewpoint here as to why it may have happened in the first place. That please, we're so eager to believe the accuser these days. We forget about, what the whole situation is. I can't tell you enough how much that feeling you get that you don't get anywhere else when people are giving you positive feedback over and over again, and they're coming to talk to you, and you don't have to start a conversation because they come and talk to you. That is a very, very powerful feeling,
dude.
And it'll make you do stupid things. And I only talk about it from my own experience. All right. I'm not a saint. I know the stupid things I did. All right. I'm nothing to this extent, Ray, by the way. All right. You won't find any of this shit on me out there. But what I'm saying is, again, I did a whole podcast on Triple T on trying to deal with that feeling and balance, your real life versus your virtual life, and how hard it was, and where you get lost and you lose yourself. And that's what happened to me, Ray. I lost myself. I lost who I was completely in 2014, which is why I quit the show. Not because I quit the show because I thought I was better than the show, and I thought I was better than everybody. All right. I lost who I was, and that's why I quit. If I had remembered, stayed true to myself, or as smart as I am now, we could still be doing Triple T now, with as shitty a person as Jules actually is. I mean, you got to think about it, right? All right. I don't want to say much here, but I mean,
you want me to say it?
No, I don't say it. I mean, one of those hosts is divorced and moved to a different state, and then took a job with another podcaster who then moved to California and left her behind. And that's not me. Right. So one of us makes bad decisions and the other one doesn't.
Well, and yeah. I mean, we can kind of leave it at that, but I still feel like I should say that, she just annoys me because she's always preaching her rah, support everybody. Everyone's great, all this stuff. And, as soon as this came out, she's like, you know what? I believe you.
Yeah.
And all I could think was, wait, hold on. You believe this person? Do you know this person? You definitely don't know this lady as much as you know Markonen, who you did 180 or so episodes with the little, co-host, finding episode in there, So if you knew this and you believe this person, then you knew something. Like if you believe this, then you must have known something or had a hunch. But you want everyone to speak up, but you won't speak up. So did you actually know something? Or what the fuck is actually going on? Does she know something or does she not know something? Is she just playing this to be like, look at me, I support everyone? Or did she not actually support everyone because she's not actually saying something?
Is it now convenient to dump the guy?
Yeah. You're just jumping on the bandwagon now? Yeah. Or that's all I could think is you're saying that you believe this person, but, and then something else, she, I don't know what else. She posted something else the other day that was like about speaking up and she wishes she could share her story or something like that. And it's like, if you're such a proponent of speaking up, say something. Just fucking say something. Like, what is this BS of like, yeah, everyone should say something. We need to out these people. Let's support each other, but you can't do it. So do as I say, not as I do. Like you just, I don't know. She drives me insane.
You can't see,
she doesn't actually fall through with anything.
You get yourself in trouble when you tweet out, believe women, and then you can't not believe women. Right. So somebody you've never met before, you suddenly have to believe versus the person you've known for 4 years. And that's where I feel bad for Markonen, because I don't know that he did anything wrong that another guy probably wouldn't or would not. I don't know. I'm, you know, what am I saying? Many guys in that situation will make the same mistake.
Oh, you want me to give you an example?
Yeah.
Dude, back in my early 20s, this you know, I was in a,
You sure you want to do this, Ray?
you know,
Because
working a job. You know what, this lady, she literally texts me just out of the blue. She texts me. She's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I'm like, "Good. Who is this?" She goes, "Oh, it's me, so and so." I'm like, "Oh, how'd you get my number?" And she explains, and then you know, got through all these steps. She turns out to be a psycho. You want to know why? One of the first things, she literally goes from that to like, "Just so you know, I'll do things that other people won't." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Like what? Cook?
What are you talking about? That was a good one. Burned. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I barely know you. And she's like, "No, like sexually." And I'm like, "Okay." Like, I don't know you. What is this? And she literally goes, "You know, I'll do things in the bedroom that other people." And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. What are you talking? She's like, "Anal." I'm like, oh.
And Ray's like,
now,
okay, I'll be
now,
right
what
there.
do you think? What do you think? Like a 3-year-old guy, whatever it is going to do at that point? Be like,
Okay.
you know, you know, you're crazy. No. Now looking back, it's like, hey, she was crazy. And again, you learn from your mistakes. Like I spent some time with her. Actually, you know, I didn't just, treat her like complete trash. I'll put that out there. But the reality is, like, when someone's throwing that at you, they're basically like, you want sex? I'll give you as much as you want, and I literally have no boundaries. In that scenario, it's kind of like, what? I'm supposed to say no? Right?
Yeah.
Like,
how can you?
yeah, I don't know.
We
Apparently I'm an asshole, right? But like,
I don't want
know.
to keep going on this. We have a couple of things to do, but I think it's important.
Yeah.
It's important to recognize how powerful the drive for acceptance and the drive for sex is for men, right? We forget that because we're in a climate now where, I'm sorry, my opinions don't matter because I'm a white male. So my opinions do not count. And the natural human instinct of a male of any sort is to reproduce. All right. And we expect everybody to act the same in different situations when it's virtually impossible because you can't turn that instinct off, man. That's right there. So if somebody comes up to you and they're offering it, it is very, very difficult to say no because it's just, because a man will sit there and will justify a million different ways and how he could do it and be okay with it and get away with it. And it'll all happen in a split second. He'll think of the story he needs to tell to his significant other, why he wasn't home. All right. And why it's okay that he's doing what he's doing now because she said yes to begin with. All right. And I don't know, that's predatory. I mean, maybe it's predatory on the other side. Right? Because if she's coming to Marconin after a show, it's like, hey man, I really liked what you had to say. You gave some really good advice, so much so that, you know, it kind of turned me on. Like, she's preying on him. If you think about it, right? All right. So I don't want to keep going too much on this, Ray. If you have any more to say, that's cool. I apologize to the audience that this wasn't necessarily funny. But it's something that I wanted to talk about because, you know, again, this is not absolving anybody of their sins. All right. This is not making excuses for their mistakes. This is just reasons why a podcaster with a large listenership may have made the mistakes that he made. There is no proof to these allegations. Nobody else has come forward to say anything aside from Jules saying she's spoken to other people who haven't come forward, which that's fucked up, by the way. That's a really fucked up thing to say. It's just kind of I actually feel bad for the guy that he's being railroaded like this, unless it comes out that he was a complete total asshole, in which case, fuck him, right? You can go jump off a bridge and kill yourself. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
If you're a fucking predator and you're doing this to that's one thing. All right. But I haven't seen those yet. So I can't jump to that conclusion, right? I'm not at that point.
Yeah.
You know, Marconin.
Well, let me, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
I just want to say.
I was just going to say,
God damn it,
my
Ray.
point.
you got a delay and it's fucking me crazy.
It's too much delay.
I'll finish, then you can go. Is that I did email Mark Conan, and he has an open forum on the Rich Dickman Show if he wants it, and he wants to tell. And if he doesn't, that's fine. I'm not doing this for ratings. I don't have ratings. I don't have listeners. I don't give a shit. But if he needs a place where he can come and wants to talk and set the story straight, it's open for him. All right, Ray, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. So going back to this chick that definitely likes it in the butt, which I can confirm.
Jesus, Ray.
So, all I can say is this. Today, as in, the proverbial today, I've heard of other people, within the company that I work for, they've had misconduct. And you know what I think every time I hear about that stuff, I go, I don't need to know about it. You want to know why? I don't give a flying rat's ass. I steer clear of it. Why? I'm not stupid. Like, I've been in situations I'm like, that could have gone very poorly. And now I'm like, what's the risk, right? Like, why put yourself in that situation? Hopefully, again, learning from your mistakes, going back to that, like, not that, hanging out with that chick and dating her, if you will, is a mistake, but, going through a relationship with someone that she was psycho. She was desperate, and getting through that and realizing, man, I was young. She was young. She was definitely, needed some help. And I've gone, that's definitely not a good relationship to be in. And, it's someone that I worked with. And I'm like, hell no, I'm not doing that. Like, hopefully people learn and move on, right? Improve yourself. So that's one of those, like, you hear about all this other stuff going on and you go, you know what? It's not going to be me. I'm not doing that today. I am about as clean as it gets these days. Cause it's like, why?
Older and smarter.
And hopefully that's what the message should be for everyone is, yes, at times, holy hell, guys and hormones. Like, if women knew the shit guys thought and went through in their teenage and early 20 years, like,
even in the 30s,
balls,
Ray.
it is insane. Yeah. Oh, dude, the amount of testosterone and just the thoughts, it's unbelievable. If you guys knew what went through our heads and what we did in comparison, you might actually applaud us. No, that's fucked up to say.
No, but it's true,
but
though.
The reality is
most
like,
of us have
dude,
more self-control than we have credit for, right? And it's not an excuse.
Oh my God,
we're not making excuses for the behavior.
No, not
just
at all.
reasons.
It doesn't make it right.
Yeah, it doesn't make it right. But let's hear this one
for the Dick Tips segment.
Yeah, I just thought of this.
Ray wanted an excuse to make his voice sound
and get paid.
Cool
Fucking
and talk
asshole.
about himself in the third person.
Yes.
Yeah. So here's a dick tip for all the men in the audience. There's two of them. Number one, do not meet women on social media. All right, dating apps, that's one thing.
Because they might
but
be
on social media, Twitter, whatever it is, do not meet women there. And number two, if they seem to have the quote unquote crazy eyes, and you know what I'm talking about, all right, you know the crazy eyes when you see them, stay away. Stay away from the crazy eyes. I cannot stress that enough, gentlemen. Stay away from anybody with eyes who may resemble any little bit of crazy, because they're crazy and they will ruin you. They will ruin your life and they will ruin your emotional state, and it'll be the worst thing you ever did. So there's your dick tip. All right, Ray.
I used to call that chick Crazy Skates.
Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to introduce this week's finalists for Dick of the Week. And here is our first nominee.
Hello, Ren. Hello, Ray. And everybody that helped make the Rich Dickman Show my favorite podcast to listen to. This is Fenton here, and I'm calling in my nomination for Dick of the Week.
Oh, it's
This
Spencer.
week, we have a guy that I work with named Gilbert. What happened was
my cat's name.
There was a mouse in the warehouse, and he got trapped in the warehouse. And often when small animals, birds, mice, things like that get trapped in a warehouse, that's where they usually wind up dying in the warehouse. Well, we were walking through the warehouse, and I saw a mouse. And the mouse was probably pretty close to dead, but he was still alive. He was just was walking very slowly. Slow enough
Oh, my God.
where I, went by him and almost picked him up. And I was looking for a cardboard box to put him in so I could pick him up, put him in the box, and take him outside. Well, Gilbert goes over and
My
steps
cat.
on the mouse, killing it.
Oh,
There was
Jesus
no
Christ.
reason for him to do that at all.
Oh, my God.
I almost decked Gilbert for doing such a
What?
thing. And he was wondering why I was so upset. And I told him it was not his job to take a life such as that. So that's the reason why he's being nominated for Dick
It
of
was
the Week.
Svensson wanted to kill it.
Ray, Rem, I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you have a good weekend and take care.
Yeah, that's fucked up, man.
Oh, I'll have an amazing weekend.
Who steps on a mouse? That's gross. That's that's a big gross thing to step on. Oh my God. Oh,
Yeah.
oh. There's a mess that comes with that too. Oh my God. It's not like stepping on a spider or an ant. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry you had to see that.
Okay, so I live in farmland, USA, California, right? So agricultural capital of the world. And therefore, there's a shitload of mice. They just run around everywhere. And in my last job, they just try and get in the building, whatever. They fucking mice, right? They go wherever the hell they want. They can, apparently, if there's a hole the size of a pencil, they can fucking fit through it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It just happens, right? Like you almost can't keep them out. So, you know what I learned? This is amazing. Tootsie Rolls. You put fucking Tootsie Rolls. Kill mice like a motherfucker.
Really?
But you got to put them on the end of an actual snap trap.
Oh.
But you put the Tootsie Roll, or I guess you could put it in the middle of a thing, of the sticky traps. But Jesus Christ, they love Tootsie Rolls. Anyway, if you want to kill mice, that's
I tell you what, one of the worst points in my life, my old house, was when we realized we had mice in the walls. Let me tell you, when you have little tiny kids and you hear that scratching in the walls,
sounds
and you
bad.
just, and there's nothing you can do about it. You just get so angry, and everything is, you hate everything. And like, what the fuck kind of poverty am I living in? I have mice in the walls and all that bull, right? So that's when we got Gilbert, my cat, my orange cat. We brought Gilbert home, and
Nice.
the mice started to go away. I don't know. The smell scared him away. I don't know. Now, Svensson, your Gilbert is nominated for Dick of the Week. I'm nominating my Gilbert for Dick of the Week because he can't stop throwing up everywhere. Like, fucking cat just like throws up. Like he's just walking down the bleh, like he just throws up. Then the wife just changes food on him or something. He just in my daughter's room. Hey, I'm just hanging out on the carpet. Bleh, and just staying like, what the fuck, Gilbert? Come on, man. Like, stop eating so fast, you stupid asshole. All right, here's the next one.
Goddamn cats.
Hey, y'all. It's Mars here, back from the land of way too much news going on. But I'm reminded of something that St. Hewell said long ago, rest his
She's
soul.
a news babe.
That, a female voice on the Rich Dickman show is like that. 1 cube of ice you add to a glass of scotch to kind of make it open up, make it a little better, balance it out. And based on some of the snippets I've heard over the past couple of shows, I think we need a whole
Excellent
truckload of ice to cool things down up in here. So here I am with a story that, it's
Thank
from last
God.
week, but it's so good. I think it's okay that it's, a little
timing.
dated. So, and maybe you've heard about this. I've seen it everywhere. Here we go. So in Boston, 6 former eBay executives and employees are facing federal charges after they allegedly led a cyber-stalking campaign against a Natick couple they believed was critical of the company in an online e-commerce newsletter. Okay? Online e-commerce newsletter. U.S. Attorney Andrew Lellin said that eBay employees' harassment included sending the couple, quote, disturbing deliveries that included a bloody pig mask, a box of live cockroaches, and a funeral wreath. And the employees also sent anonymous threats and traveled to Massachusetts to convert covert surveillance of the victims.
Oh my
And
God.
among the people, you would think these are just like the plebs, assholes, kind of fucking around with people. But no. James Baugh, I don't know if I'm saying that right, of San Jose, eBay's former director of safety and security, and former eBay director of global resiliency, David Harville, were among the six charged in the case. So, the attorney says the couple serves as editor and publisher for an online newsletter that covers e-commerce companies. Wholly boring. According to prosecutors, members of eBay's executive leadership team followed the newsletter and took issue with the content and anonymous comments under the stories. In 2019, 2 members of the leadership team allegedly sent or forwarded text messages saying it was time to, quote, take down the newsletter's editor and, quote, crush this lady, referring to the same person. So the couple, among the crazy deliveries they sent to this couple because they didn't like what they were writing, here we go. This is the complete list. So deliveries included fly larvae and live spiders, the cockroaches, the sympathy wreath, and then a book of advice on how to deal with the death of a spouse. How creepy is that? Okay. Pornography mailed to their next door neighbor, but in the couple's name, and the pig mask, and also a pig fetus, which actually never got sent, thankfully. And then here's the kicker. In another incident, they posted a classified on Craigslist claiming to be from the couple, inviting singles, couples, and swingers to their house to party after 10 p.m. every night. So everybody's been fired. There's still an investigation pending.
I just realized what that was.
But Jesus Christ. I mean, an e-commerce newsletter in Natick, Mass is going to evoke this kind of ire. People just do not have enough to do. I don't know what to say, but damn, I'm
Nothing to say.
really glad they're facing federal charges. Fuck that shit. Anyway, have a good rest of the show. I'll be back at some point. Bye.
Some point. All right. Couple things. Not related to that.
That sounded like an all-star lineup of our best of Dick of the Weeks like stuff that happened.
Yeah.
It's like things that we've covered, and then someone like found the remains of the Dick of the Week and then shipped it to those people. Like that's what it sounded like.
HDNB,
incredible.
You are my number one choice for third voice on the Rich Dickman Show. And as I said before, if you are able to get a good mic and can talk to us on a regular basis, you are more than welcome to hop on and join the show and provide that sorely needed
like a good mic.
Female voice. Because Ray needs that shit. Okay, Ray needs a strong woman to tell him to shut the fuck up, because Ray talks too much sometimes.
Women.
Yeah, you need multiple women on you, right?
Yes, too much.
I saw HDNB this week. What's happening? Is your wife there? Uh-oh.
Yes.
All right. Tell her to move in the camera so I can stare. I'm sorry, Ray. I'm getting drunk.
Okay, bring him over here real quick.
I don't know what he's doing.
Come here,
what is this? I'm trying to talk about me seeing HDNB this week. It was nice to see HDNB.
Right.
I was going to give her a hug and stuff, because I haven't seen her in a long time. But then I was like, oh, God, you got to social distance. So she wouldn't. Here comes Ray's children.
Here comes
all the babies out of the bath. Look at that baby with his hair. Looks nothing like Ray. Are you sure it's yours? That's funny. Oh, Jesus, Ray. You're throwing me off. I'm Saren. Don't worry. I see.
There you go.
Yep. Thank you. Oh, what's happening now?
It's all part of the plan.
It's like your wife is lifting up her shirt in the back. Oh, are those shorts? Wow. All right, Ray. It's good stuff, man.
That's what happens. Boink.
Okay. Let's decide who the winner of this.
After much deliberation, the incredibly handsome expert judges have come to the consensus that this week's Dick of the Week award goes to...
Man, your wife is so young, though. My God. She's only 29.
That's just the way it appears.
You can't let her grow another year. You got to keep her at 29. No, I'm just kidding. There's a lot to like about older women. All right. Our Dick of the Week this week, Ray,
now, little buddy,
is I can't even make a joke about this. The people that Hot Drummer News Bay brought up with the e-commerce newsletter and all the shitty things they did, that's your Dick of the Week right there, right? I mean, there's no contest.
Okay, so I feel like I need to actually point this out because HGNB has submitted some amazing submissions for Dick of the Week. And at times, I've been a little nitpicky and saying that's not very dick-like. That is a dick move.
That's epitome of Dick of the Week.
Beyond compare, almost. Like that's the epitome of a. This is like a Dick of the Year nomination. Like that's money in the bank right there. I don't see how we could vote any other way. To me, it's a shoe-in.
Yes.
So. Mad props on finding that one. That was a good one.
HDNB makes a triumphant return and she wins. Thank you, HDNB.
You're listening to the Rich Dickman Show with sexy as fuck Rem and Ray.
This is the voicemail bumper. This is the bumper on your left, and this is the bumper on your right. This is a badass guitar riff. And finally, here's your voicemails. Sorry, that guitar riff's too cool not to play twice.
Hey, how's it going, Rim? You know, I'm calling in to leave voicemail. I'm laying in bed right now. I got my, I kind of haven't found a spot to put like the equipment that I got. So I'm asking you posting, you have some, drama, not drama. I don't like to use that word. That shit, everyone, I feel like there's a lot of things that people deal with that's like bullshit, but it's not drama. I mean, I feel like, there's a specific definition for drama and shit like that, but like the shit going on with that is like real, bruh. That's some, all this, social media shit. And I mean, when I say Ted Kaczynski was right, I mean, I say it like, hey, as a person, he was right about like technology and eventually, I think what he saw was like, since he, had IQ, like equal to Einstein or above him. I mean, he pretty much said like, he noticed the rapidity of how fast things change due to the Industrial Revolution. So I think he extrapolated that to the future and like, technology becoming, like Ray Kurzweil talked about a singularity. It's not a singularity of, nonstop good things that we develop. Because humanity, for some reason, we tend to, develop the, like an atom bomb or like some cool shit that really, really destroys everybody, like ourselves. I mean, I don't see like ants building no atom bomb that destroy all they fucking little anthills and shit. I think ants are smarter than human beings, but hey, either way, I mean, I think you're going to agree with that. You're going to be like, damn, I mean, based on how shit is now, I mean, yeah. I think that, the Me bro, if any bitch wants, I've said this a million times, I will help you if you say someone has done that to you, I will literally hold your hand. I will fucking carry you to get that kit done. I will literally sit beside you. I will literally do whatever I can in my power. But if you think that taking some nigga online and fucking accusing him out of nowhere about on some shit and, trying to take that nigga to civil court where you need just 51% of the fucking evidence or people leaning your way to get, a guilty verdict and ruin that nigga's life instead of criminal court where it has to be beyond the shadow of a doubt, then bitch, you lying. Why the fuck you lying? Stop fucking lying. I don't got the voice to sing that, but like, damn, it's just fucked up, bro. And seeing that shit, I'm just like, damn, man. You smart about that Jewel, so I mean, real talk, bro. Like you knew that bitch was drama from day one, bro. I mean, damn, you know what I mean? Like you got to move beyond and go up into the stars, But shit, I see that and it makes me sick. I'm just like, damn, like I don't know. I mean, there's something real, like Dick was right. I mean, but with like people, with females like that, there's something really atavistic where they just have like no soul and they just really, really want to ruin people's lives and make people so.
He got cut off. I don't know that we need such harsh language, Isaac. In principle, I kind of agree with you. It's kind of bullshit that we're able to make accusations on Twitter and people get fired from it without any proof, or people's lives get ruined without any proof. I think it's important that people are able to tell their stories of abuse, but they also have to be responsible for providing some type of proof before we can, excommunicate somebody from a community or fire them from their job or, there's got to be something more than just, oh my God, because I can do that. Ray, yeah. Hey, Ray, in 2014, Jules Scott once told me I should divorce my wife and she tried to, break me up from my family. I mean, I could do that shit too. Oh,
let's cancel her.
Right. I mean, I nobody knows if that's true or not. I mean, it is true. she did say that shit, but it's a slippery slope once we start just taking accusations as truth. This whole Marconin thing. There's another side of the story that I need to hear before I can really pass judgment on it. So go ahead. I'm sorry, you were saying something.
So my thing is this: there's a truth. A truth or partial truth to what Isaac's saying there, as in there are people that will, if you will, piggyback on the Me Too movement and use it for personal gain. But it's not the Me Too movement in its initial essence, right? In the core of it, as in, hear me out. the Me Too movement is a good thing, but shitty people gonna be shitty people. So let's find the shitty people and find them out. We got to stop grouping everyone together until you get to, you break down the groups into individuals, and then the people that actually are the last of that, that's the final group. And the final group is people using whatever movement for personal gain. So if someone's whatever the fucking movement is, it doesn't matter which movement it is, but people piggybacking on that. I guarantee you a bunch of the people that are doing the looting and rioting in the name of Black Lives Matters, are not actually, they don't give a flying rat's ass about BLM at all. Like, it's just for personal gain. So get those people, or whatever the movement is. So it's just shitty people being shitty people. I wouldn't say Me Too is bad. I think it's a good thing. If it goes back to bad people are bad people. If the guy's a predator and he's literally taking advantage of women, and it's a consistent theme, yes, that guy's a terrible person. Shitty person, go to jail.
Yeah.
To me, it's as simple as that, but case by case basis. And then at the end, the bad people can be grouped as bad people, but, the movement and a lot of these movements I think are very good things. They're great for society. We need the progress. We need people to be more understanding and accepting of everybody. But the shitty people that are piggybacking on that and using it for personal gain.
Twitter is not a court of law, right?
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ!
Okay,
you post it on there, and then that's your vindication.
And I know people say, well, they need a forum to just tell their stories. Okay, awesome, but we should also be we should also do more investigating than just, oh my God, this person said this. Okay, you're fired. There needs to be more. There needs to be more due diligence involved in researching accusations of whatever it is. Okay, that's not to diminish anybody's accusations of experience or anything. It's just people should not be losing their jobs. They should not be losing their livelihoods. They should not be losing their place in a community of any sort because somebody made a post on social media that nobody else can verify. I mean, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Ridiculous. Okay. Maybe I'm just insane. Right. Maybe that's the world we live in. And if that's the case, please, if that is the world that we live in and that people want, I will delete my Twitter tomorrow and, the podcast will end after 1:15 for real. All right. It won't be a bit anymore because that's not something I want to be a part of. We need to be able to come on here and do our little stupid podcast for us and make the jokes that we want to make. Okay.
It's called freedom of speech.
Yeah. This is a comedy improv podcast. All right. We say the things that come to our mind. We talk about current events and we're allowed to give our opinions. And if our opinions are some things that are going to get us canceled from a community or whatever, I'm not interested in doing that anymore because it's dumb. Anyways.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, Ray. Thank you, Isaac, for calling in the voicemail line, the Dickman line, 860-316-4776. If you would like to call the show, go ahead. That's a great way to let us know, what's up. What's up? Oh God, we got, oh dude, really? We have this? This is for real?
Whatever you got time for.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hey, all these people don't mess around. These people are go-getters.
Yeah. I'm only going to do this because we haven't seen Randy in 3 weeks. And I know Randy's on vacation right now, but come on, Randy.
Hey folks, it's time for that wacky segment where we review porn. Because we have a psychopath listener, better known as the laughingstock of the adult film industry, who insists on sending us his ridiculous piles of trash. So without further ado, Mr. Porno Man's latest perversion.
All right, Ray, read it.
I don't know if I want to do this one, but greetings, gentlemen. I cannot stand the fact that you Jesus Christ, that you imbeciles don't appreciate my wonderful works of art for what they are.
Oh God.
You're simpletons at best. And in an effort to cater to your lowest denominator brains, I'll have you idiots watch this fantastic bit of art. This week, we've got, oh, Jesus Christ, how do you say this? Gerontophilia porn?
Oh,
I don't even know how to say it. This chick loves the old dudes and dusty dicks.
Oh.
Sit back and enjoy the ride.
Oh, God.
Regards, Mr. Portman.
I'm not going to broadcast to the chat room this one.
Do I even want to?
No.
Should I just log out?
There's three There's 3 dudes, 2 of which are very old and hairy and gross, and they're oh my god, it's a oh Jesus Christ! All right, Ray, I don't know how much longer this we can do. We have to do a little bit of it.
So it's titled what? Old man takes teen. An old landlord. Wait, hold on. You went away. An old man cream fries young Asian. It's bad.
Oh no.
How many pallets of Viagra do you think they ordered before they shot this?
I don't know.
It's too disgusting. I don't even want to watch it. It's so.
Is there?
Maybe because we're getting old, so we're like.
Is this our future, Ray? When we go to a convention, and we're just going to be.
Yeah, like when we go to a convention.
Oh, that's. You're gonna love it, baby. You're gonna love it, baby.
Oh, you know that one guy? He's in halfway decent shape.
Ray,
actually, kind of all. I mean, they look like they're like.
Fuck up, Ray. You're gonna love it, baby.
Are they at least
okay?
Dude, they gotta be in like the 80s. That guy's got shoulder hair. Like a full head of shoulder hair.
I can't even wear my hat.
It's so disgusting.
Oh my god, I'm getting like.
I'm not even watching it. I can't watch it.
Feverish. I'm so sick. I'm disgusted right now. Oh my god. Okay.
I'm not watching it. I'm closing my eyes.
Let me gather my thoughts here. I was like, all right. Randy texted me. Randy texted me earlier this week and he said, "Hey, I logged in Twitter to check on the Marconin stuff, and Mr. Porno Man has been taunting me." And I'm like, "Oh man, Randy, yeah, he's been back a couple weeks, so maybe you should like get back on the horse."
Oh my god,
Randy, this message is for you, Randy. I don't blame Mr. Porno Man for the bullshit he sends us. I can't blame him. This is his job. This is his life. This is what he does. Okay. I can't blame him here. But Randy, I can certainly blame you, because in episode 100, you shamed Mr. Porno Man just by bringing up old content, because all he does is shitty content. And we brought in something old, and you still showed Mr. Porno Man. You were the man. You made him go away. You made Mr. Porno Man go away. All right. And the Rich Dickman Show was doing just fine with our porn star guests. We didn't need Mr. Porno Man, but Randy disappears, right? Randy goes away. Randy needs a night off because he needs to go to sleep. Then he goes on vacation. And guess who's back? What do we get, Ray? We got Muppet porn. We got MRI porn. Okay. And now we've got old person. Are you kidding me? Randy, you allowed this to happen? You, the executive producer of this show, allow this son of a bitch, Mr. Porno Man, to send us this horrible, horrible, horrible filth. Especially, I am sick to my stomach. I want to retch all over my basement floor, Randy, because gross. He was allowed to send this because you were not here to put him in his place. Randy, I believed in you. I trusted you, and I gave you the keys to the city, and you flushed him down the toilet, Randy. You flushed him down the toilet. And now this guy just runs rampant all over my show. Here I am. I'm talking about very important issues going on in the World of Warcraft community that happened to somebody I know personally. And you're on vacation, enjoying your life and having a good time. And Mr. Porno Man's here to soil every little bit of good we did tonight, and to poison my brain. I have to go to sleep tonight, Randy, and I have to see this on the movie theater that is the front of my frontal brain lobe, and I have to watch these 3 old men banging these disgusting men banging this chick. Oh my God, Randy, how could you allow this to happen to me?
Unbelievable.
To me, Randy, to me. Okay. Get your shit together, Randy. Get your shit together. All right, Ray. That's it. I'm done. I quit. I quit this shit. It's terrible.
Yeah, I don't think there's really much to do after that. It's pretty shitty that Mr. Porno Man considers this anything. Like, even if he had emailed and said, "Here's my biggest pile of shit," we still would have been disappointed. Yeah. This is
it's all Randy's fault. All of it.
So yeah, we definitely counterbalance it with some Randy action. And also, Randy saying he's on vacation, that's a bunch of horse shit. Fucking lying sack of shit.
There's no vacation.
There's nowhere on vacation. There's coronavirus everywhere.
There's no vacation when you podcast, Randy. Okay? It's very portable. We were going to do a podcast from Oklahoma before Corona ruined that. So don't give me your bullshit. You're on vacation and you need to go to sleep. You got to sleep on your own time. Not on my time, Randy. Not on my time.
You're about to get demoted to intern.
We
all know what happened to the last intern.
Who knows what happened to our last? Yeah, that guy disappeared. We gave him a job and he couldn't handle responsibilities. He flaked out and left. He ran away. Ask producer Chris is about to be the executive ask producer. Chris, if you're not careful, Randy. All right. You got anything else tonight? Or are we done?
We should just call it. I think that's a good spot to end it. I think we've covered a lot of ground. We've basically run a marathon. We're exhausted and we're ready for some
Hey, Ray,
sleep.
next week we might be bringing Dave from Not For Human Consumption back. So let's...
We still got a lot of segments in the hopper.
We got to let him... All our regular weekly segments, we got to get those ready for him, okay?
Yep. Got them all ready to go.
Thank you guys so much for listening to Rich Dickman Show. We really appreciate it. Every time you give us a download and a listen and a like, share, and a subscribe and a review, that's cool. If you like what we do, you want to support the show, you can tell a friend, leave a review. And if you like us even more than that, why not check out our Patreon? Patreon.com/Rich Dickman. I lost a friend almost over it, so you should join. But you get extra content every week. Up there, we have a CarCast with Ask Producer Chris and myself. And Ray's got some things that he's working on in the background, some post show with some of our listeners. So you'll find that stuff on there. And also you can find two of our old liquor fueled shows on our Patreon as well. Bonus clips, bonus shows, and at the high level, your very own custom t-shirt. I have to send Kristen's out this week. I haven't done it yet. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Oh, shut up, Ray. Yours is still.
I got an update.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's still looping. I literally got a call from the USPS today, and they said, yeah, I don't know what's happening. It just keeps looping. It just keeps looping. I don't know what's happening. It just keeps looping. She kept saying that, and I was like, all right, so here's the actual address. Here's where it's supposed to go. All right. And I was like, when will I get an update? Once we figure out what's going on. It keeps looping. I don't know what's going on, but we'll call you again.
The brightest.
All right. I don't even know what to tell you anymore.
Ray, it's called package intercept. You got to do a package intercept, and it'll pull that some back to you. All right.
Oh, I can try that.
Asshole. You can find us online at richdickman.com for all your Rich Dickman needs. Click that merch tab. Get yourself some awesome merch. We got shirts and stickers, and you can even get an old Huel shirt as well. And if you're on Amazon, search Rich Dickman, get yourself an Eat the Rich t-shirt because, yeah, why not? Eat the Rich. We're going to get mugs. Yeah, Isaac wants a mug. We'll get some mugs up there. Check us out on YouTube and subscribe to that as well. These shows are uploaded every week. Thank you so much again for listening. You can check out Isaac's podcast, Chimping Out with Isaac Jackson, and of course, our good little girlfriends over at Not For Human Consumption. Love those guys as well. RichDickmanShow@gmail.com. Follow. Well, actually, Randy left social media, but he was at Sir Zero. You can follow the show at Rich Dickman Show. The producer Ryan's at RyanTRDS. You can follow my mother at Rem_Mama. You can follow me at Rem Dickman. And Ray, how do we follow you? What are you up to?
At Jules Winfeld on Twitter. Or, you know what, just call the voicemail line. The Dickman line, as it's best known as. 860-316-4776.
You ever think of changing your Twitter handle?
I thought about it. Why? You think I should just go through with it?
Just be Ray Dick.
More episodes.
Just be Ray Winfeld for the next website.
There you go.
Oh, you guys are the best. Thanks again. We'll see you next week. Good night.
See ya! On big delay.
There's a big delay tonight.
It's brutal, man.
But at least it lasted. At least. Hey, hi, Tanks. At least we didn't have internet issues. Thank God. Thank